Welcome into Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You. I'm Geoff Schwartz. That is Matt Ford. Today is Friday, January 9th. As usual, we are presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. And Matt, we have made it to the postseason of the National Football League. We're going to go through all 6 wildcard games as we normally do this time of year. Instead of giving you 5 picks against the spread, we're each going to pick our 5 favorite wagers, and then we're going to rank them 5-1, essentially. So number 5 will be 5 points, 4 points, 3, 2, 1. And Matt and I will compete against each other. It's open for every bet. Props, totals, sides, weird stuff, whatever you want. Matt won last game of the Super Bowl because he took Jalen Carter to have a sack at like 10-1 or some insane number.
Yeah.
So we're going to be able to do that and have fun with it. We're going to talk some college football as well because Miami is through to the championship game. Oregon, Indiana play tonight. So if you're listening to this afterwards, maybe I look stupid, maybe I look great. We'll find out. And then we're going to get Matt's thoughts on NBA trade because I don't know if he's a Wizards fan, but he has thoughts. So we're going to talk about the NBA at the end of the show. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I mean, I'm a little triggered by the mention of the Wizards and Trae Young there, but I'm doing well. And it's nice to see you in a bright green Oregon hoodie. I know you're fired up for tonight. Do you want to start with the crazy game from last night, or do you want to get into the preview for tonight?
I think that the game last night is certainly worth talking about. And Miami beats Ole Miss there, 31-27, a great game. I keep being so surprised that Ole Miss continued to play this well with the coach situation. I mean, they were down more coaches yesterday after Lane Kiffin took the LSU job. He brought some coaches with him. They came back for the first 2 games of the tournament, and then the semifinals, some left, went to go back to Indiana. Went to go back to LSU, but here we are. And Miami in the championship game. And look, I mean, Miami is the latest example, maybe the best example of something that I've thought about college football for a while now, Matt, is that with the 12-team playoff, we have to start thinking about this sport like the NFL. I might have talked about this last week. I say a lot of things. So if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry about this. But, Miami lost to Louisville in October. It was a bad loss. And people kept pointing to Miami lost to Louisville, Miami lost to Louisville, Miami lost to Louisville. We're going to preview a playoff game, the first wildcard weekend game, where the teams played 5 weeks ago, and probably not mention that result the entire time.
Yeah,
like
right.
It doesn't matter. Okay, it matters how you're playing in this exact moment, and you have to win the number of games required to get to the playoffs. But Miami had won 5 games in a row heading into the postseason, and they won them by a lot. Like, they were dominating, and they were a team we looked at. I reverse Uno'd Cold Takes Exposed. Old Takes Exposed. I put out a tweet early in October being like, I think Miami's going to win the championship. Like, they're one of those teams. And he got me after Miami lost their second game. He put my take up there, and I reversed it last week and was like, maybe it's not the worst take ever. Miami has the talent, Matt. They've always had it. They had a couple rough games in October, and now they're back where they think they should always be in the championship game. This game is actually going to be in Miami for them as well. Yep. So my takeaway from this game is not like actual gameplay. It's just that we have to start viewing the college football season. It's a long year. Look, it started August, 31st-ish, and now we're in January 9th, and so we're still playing. It's a long season now, and we have to view playoff teams a little bit differently. That losses in October and how you play week 4, 5, 6, 7 is not as important as 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's my sort of off the top take about Miami.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing, right? Like, it's sort of like in boxing, how, people, because of Floyd Mayweather, got scared of the loss. Like, they wanted the 0. And now it's like, yeah, it's a long season. Like, if you just get into the dance, like, the college basketball, the most pure competition we have, like the NFL playoffs, like, if you get hot at the right time, you can make a run. And crazy game, wild to see, like, the Michael Irvin, Ray Lewis extravaganza on the sideline, very entertaining. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the Kiffin thing is hilarious. Like, him, responding, him doing all these social posts about how happy he is for them and how brokenhearted he was for the loss. Like, that made me laugh.
He didn't care at all.
Yeah, of course he didn't. He's a maniac. Yeah, I mean, I have some takes on all of it. I mean, the Ole Miss quarterback is a really fun story. Been tracking that. I don't know what's the most interesting football piece of this to you.
I took a 75-1 on him to be the number 1 pick in the draft after this game.
Shameless?
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you think that could happen?
Well, look, he's asking for a waiver to play one more season in college football.
Hmm.
So he's 55-1 now. In a quarter, if Dante Moore comes back to college, he's going number 2 overall, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes number 1 overall.
Hmm.
He was at D2 last season, Matt.
Yeah.
He hasn't even played a lot of big boy football yet. He's gotten better each and every week. I can see the Raiders saying to themselves, the physical upside of Chambliss, he's younger player. Actually, he might not be that much younger, but he's the upside of what he can be because he just hasn't played a lot of football and he gets better each and every week. And the physical part, he's only 23, so he's not that old. That he was at Ferris State last season.
Yeah, it's very
and by the way, he didn't start this season. They had another quarterback was starting this season.
Yeah. I mean, it's very reminiscent of Cam Ward, right? Who bounced around, and then all of a sudden, it's crazy that he was at Miami, and they're in the national championship game a year later. But it's the same sort of path. And I was thinking this with Carson Beck, who like everyone's just been dogging on forever, and like we should just prepare ourselves for this guy just like being a starter in the NFL next year, and everyone being like, this guy sucks, and then him like taking a team like the Broncos to the playoffs, like. This is, I think, the new kind of value pick at the quarterback position. Like look at Shuck, right? Like everyone thought Shuck was going to be. I thought Shuck was going to be terrible. Shuck is probably going to win. I mean, maybe McMillan will win it, but he's at least in the top 2 for Rookie of the Year, out of nowhere. Bo Nix, like shocking that he was able to come in and just be this seamlessly good. Jaden Daniels, 50-some starts. Like Beck's had the same amount of starts as Daniels and Nix had. And he's just going to come in and like he's going to be able to play it from day one for some team that like is going to just randomly fall into this quarterback that they didn't even want. I feel like it's just I'm really interested in how these prospects at quarterback especially are evolving with this new sort of landscape.
I'm curious about Carson Beck. I mean, look, Miami calls a game plan to maybe avoid Carson Beck making mistakes, which does worry me. Where
that was Knicks too, right?
Yes and no. Oregon did a little more than Miami does for Beck, but then the point though is that when they needed it last night, Beck was fantastic. Like the final drive of the game was unbelievable. So that's good to know. Like when he can do it, he can, and that's important to note when you get toward the idea of I think Beck's probably early day 2 is my guess. Yeah. That's my guess. And then of course Mendoza goes 1-1. Dante Moore could be 1-2, and then Chambliss. I think it's worth the 75-1 I took this morning on Chambliss. Just the way he's playing, his trajectory. Maybe a team likes him a little bit more than they do Mendoza. Oregon plays today. I didn't go to the game, Matt. I didn't go. I stayed home. I feel good about that decision, actually. People were questioning me. And there's a lot of Oregon alums at this game. And one of the reasons I didn't want to go was I didn't want to ask the athletic department 2 straight weeks for like perks of being to the. Does that make sense? Like I wanted to like save everything for Miami. I'll get a media pass to Miami. Like I'll be set with tickets. The tickets are super expensive, but like, hey, can I like go to the team party after the game type of thing? Like I want to be able to just save that for the championship game. And there's a lot of guys there this week, and I'm just like it reinforces my idea that I'm okay staying home for it. The game kicks off now in about 7 hours, so get a little bit nervous. Look, here's the thing about where I'm at emotionally with Oregon right now. Anyone will tell you privately, publicly, that 2026 next season, right? It's 2026 now, but next season was supposed to be our year to win a championship. One thing we're seeing with a lot of the teams that are winning right now is their age. Michigan was old. Ohio State was old. Indiana, out of their 11 starters on offense, only one is younger than playing their 4th season.
It's crazy.
Do you hear the thing about their average age is like the same age as the Packers? It's like they're very close in average age. Wow. And there we go. There's my dog. My wife is now home. Here it is right here. This is pretty funny. He's going to keep barking through it though.
The average age of that's why he's barking.
The average age of the Indiana Hoosiers is 23 years old. for perspective, the average age for the Green Bay Packers is 25 years old. So I mean, it's close enough, right? But like,
yeah,
but like
the average age of the Commanders is like
yes.
36. So
Well, yes,
yeah, it's pretty close.
but that is what has been winning in college football, and Oregon will be that team next season. That's old, and they've been preparing for next season for a while now. So while I want to win this game because you never know if you'll be back here, I think we'll be back next season. And so everything past beating Texas Tech, which I think we had to do, to me is like gravy. Now I've had the most fun watching this team this year. I don't want us to lose. Of course, I want us to win a championship now if we can. But I have comfort in knowing that we'll be back. And unlike the NFL, where there is a lot of turnover year to year, and it's hard to say that unless you have Patrick Mahomes, this in college football, it is fairly easy, I think, to predict sort of playoff teams that do it every year, right, Matt? So they might not have the success in a given year, but you sort of know who's going to be there, right? And so I think Oregon feels good about where they're at with their schedule next season. Excuse me, the talent they have. I mean, a couple more things on this game quickly. Everyone's picking Indiana. It's great. I don't think I've ever seen an Oregon game in the last 5 years, Matt, where the sports books need Oregon to cover the game. And ask any sports book director, it's like we need Oregon to cover this game for us. DraftKings right now, dude, 73% of spread wagers are on the Hoosiers.
Wow.
And the number moved to Oregon by half a point in the middle of this week. I'm curious to see if it gets steamed a little bit today as well. So sportsbooks need Oregon, and a couple other things. I might ramble, but it's my podcast. One of the things that I think is you have to convince yourself as an Oregon fan in this game. We're absolutely good enough to win. Don't get me wrong. Totally good enough. Again, the October thing, right? We lost in October. That game, that doesn't matter anymore, right? Different teams were good enough to win this game. It's like Indiana this year, and I equate this to the NFL, a lot to the NFL. We're going to talk about some of these teams, like the Bears, okay? They won so many high leverage situations this season that, like, I'm fading them in the postseason. Indiana this season, Matt, won every single high leverage situation. They went to Oregon 20-20 time in the fourth quarter. They won 30-20. At Iowa, losing the fourth quarter, late slant pass, they win 20-15. And they turned the ball over, by the way, with like 4 minutes left, down 15-13. And Iowa couldn't turn it into points. Ohio State, Big Ten championship game. They win 13-10. Ohio State had 2 drives, man, in the second half that went 70 yards and 81 yards and no points. Got stuck on fourth down, missed a field goal. They went to Penn State, won the game by 1 point. I don't know if you remember that catch that I think it was Cooper had in the back of the end zone with that 1 foot down. Are they going to do it again? Are they going 16-0 this season and doing this again against Oregon? Like that's sort of the things you have to think about, I think, when it comes to this game that aren't like quote unquote football related, which is weird to talk about because we talk so much about like X and O's. So that's, I'm curious, man. Oregon's got to play better on offense. We got to play cleaner on offense. We can't make the mistakes we've made over the last couple of games against the better defenses. If we do that, I feel good about where we're at. Rematches, by the way, in the playoff, I believe it's 1-7 to the team that won the first game. Remember, Oregon famously lost last season to Ohio State. Georgia lost to Ole Miss this season in a rematch of a game we saw earlier this season. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun.
Well, best of luck, Geoff. I think I'm rooting for you. I don't think much of America is, but that's fine. It's good to be an underdog in moments like this.
It feels weird. It's a different spot for us to be. And there's also like Damashek brings this up a lot, the curse of Sposta. And Indiana, for the first time ever in their entire football program, is supposed to win a semifinal game.
Right.
That has to matter a little bit, right?
Yeah, it definitely does. No, yeah. Man, those expectations get pretty heavy. We're going to talk about that with NFL quarterbacks, where it's like, okay, the lights are bright. Like, how are you going to do? And being experienced and older will probably help, but who knows? And sometimes being able to play with less pressure and can be a good thing.
Right. Here's a tweet from our friend John Ewing here. 99% of the money is on Mendoza over passing yards.
Yeah, that's
99% of the money.
That's a pretty big red flag there. We should probably be looking at what's the number looking like.
So 208. It's not even that high.
Yeah, that's really low. Interesting.
Yeah. The first game he only threw for 215 in Oregon, by the way. That's one thing too. The first game, they only had 340 yards. People act like he had 400 yards against us. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Do you want to take a break or you want to go right to the NFL quickly? What would you like to do, sir?
Why don't we take our first break and then
Let's take a break.
Yeah,
We'll do some
come
NFL
back
afterwards.
And talk Wild Card Weekend.
All right, we're back. Wild Card Weekend is here, Matt. 6 NFL games. It feels like 5 of them are pick'ems, even though the point spread's not quite that way for a lot of them. The first one, though, is not going to be a pick'em. So I'm going to remind everyone what we're going to do here. We're going to go through the games. We're going to talk about them from a gambling perspective, from an X and O's, whatever we feel about the game. We're going to maybe list out a couple of wagers we like in a game. And at the end of the show, we're going to recap our 5 favorite for each of us, not as a show for each of us. It might be the same. And we'll add those into a confidence meter, 1 through 5 or 5 through 1, essentially. And Matt and I go head to head. Matt beat me last year. Looking to get some revenge this year on Matt here. So let's start with the first game of the weekend.
Yeah. First game of the weekend. Let me grab the latest lines. I'm looking forward to this competition, Geoff. The Los Angeles Rams are 10.5-point road favorites in your backyard in Carolina. I think that's the largest playoff road favorite, I think maybe ever. Fascinating line. We'll break these games down and then we'll slot in our picks. But what do you think about this? The total, by the way, I assume we'll talk totals this time around. 45.5, which is not the highest of the weekend, but on the high end. I'm curious where you are on this game.
So the forecast tomorrow is rain and thunderstorms, which means that we might have a delay in this game at some point. I'll tell you what, though, I am pro live under when there's a rain delay.
Interesting.
This happened a lot in college football in September in the South when there's a lot of rain delays. If you look at a lot of the games that were rain delayed, they come back and the under just look. Think about this one. We one NFL game this year that was rain delayed. The Eagles Cowboys came back with 0 points. Yep. Second half of that game. It's hard, man, to start a game and then have a rain delay for 30 minutes or an hour because every lightning strike is 30 minutes. So you could go lightning strike 25 minutes, lightning strike. You have to wait another 30 minutes. That's the rule. Or maybe it's 20 minutes, but whatever. You got to wait a long time. And your body cools down. Everything calms down. There were even times this year in college football where they skipped halftime because halftime was close to the rain delay. And they just were like, that's our halftime. We're going to just take a break at halftime and then come back and play the third quarter. That's how long these breaks can be. So worth noting there at some point in this game. 10.5 is a frick ton of points, buddy. Is a lot of points. Yeah. The question comes down for me is this. What Rams team do we get? Excuse me, what Panthers team do we get? Good Panthers, the bad Panthers. We got lucky to cover last week. We'll take it. I'm not going to complain about covering a game. I don't like a side in this game. I would lean toward an under potentially. There are props I do like in this one. The one I'm leaning toward is Blake Corum over rushing at 43.5 right now for the Rams backup running back. This is a play I've made often this season. We don't ever talk props. Maybe we should talk more of it. Now, part of it was we did the show Wednesday, so it's hard to do it on Wednesday. But in one angle I like, Matt, is backup running back who's a high volume guy in a game I think might be a blowout because that guy's going to get a ton of carries. So Blake Corum, the last 5 weeks of the season, 12 carries, 11 carries, 14 carries, 6 carries, 13 carries. He's over this number in 4 of the last 5 games. Even going back in the 6th game, he had 7 carries for 81 yards against Carolina. So that backup running back angle I really like. And I think the Rams will control the tempo of this game. They're going to run the ball a lot, especially if the weather's bad. I like Corum over 43.5 yards.
Oh, that's great. Corum, by the way, was looking like he was going to be the featured back 2 weeks ago when the Rams were on that Monday night game against Atlanta, and then Corum got banged up and Kyron got all the work. So it does, and that was at the time sort of a must-win for them. So yeah. I do think you're getting good value there. You can do that little slider thing on DraftKings, 50 plus 134, 60 plus 228. Like those numbers get pretty juicy. I like that play. I mean, couple things, like it seems like this number reflects the return of Devontae Adams, which is so huge for the Rams offense. He he ended up leading the league in touchdown catches,
Yep.
and he missed 3 games, and like at least 2 or 3 early games in the season were blowouts. Um, so he could have ended up like given the way that they were throwing the ball at the end of the season, like he could have ended up with almost 20 touchdowns, which is kind of insane. So when he comes back, this offense is really going to change. I think this reflects that probably the Rams are the highest rated team in Vegas's power rankings, I would think. The fact that they're this big of a spread, like I heard someone else say this, like, they didn't have to put 10.5 out there, right? Like, the fact is, like, I think people would have probably taken the Panthers at 8.5, 9.5. Like, all the trends say you got to take underdogs. Like, we'll get to this throughout the show, but like, underdogs in general on wild card weekend are just a really profitable bet over time. Like, if you blindly just take if you take wild card unders and underdogs, like, you're gonna end up winning historically. So this is a huge number, and this game, honestly, Jeff, reminds me. This, I mean, maybe you won't remember this. I certainly do. The 2020 Bucks Washington football team game at FedEx, where there was no crowd and because of COVID, and Tom Brady and the eventual Super Bowl champion Bucks were favored by 10. And Taylor Heineke was the quarterback for Washington that year. It was like I think Washington was 8-1 or 8-9 or whatever, just like this Panthers team. And it ended up being the only time that the Bucks were really challenged until the Super Bowl. Like, it ended up being this really good game where it was the closest win that the Bucks had. And you look back and it's like a piece of trivia. Like, Taylor Heineke against Tom Brady had that crazy like pylon run for the touchdown. It could be a game like that where no one's covered a 10-point road favorite spread in the playoffs before. So if the Rams do it, it'd be a first time, and that doesn't mean that they're not a Super Bowl team. Like, the Bucks obviously won it that year. They're the greatest quarterback of all time. So it's going to be hard to pick a side here, but the parallels to me as a Washington fan are kind of interesting. And I'm curious what you think of that.
I don't know. Panthers fans will like the comparison between Taylor Heineke and Bryce Young here. I just think it's a
Ron Rivera.
I just think it's a lot of points, dude. Like, it's a lot of points. Like think about the scores. Like, are they winning this game 27-16, 31-20? Like, think about the 11-point scores that you have to get to cover this game. That's a lot of points in a playoff game.
Yeah, it is, dude.
It's a lot. I don't feel comfortable with the Panthers. I'm not backing the Panthers. I don't know if you're going to end up backing the Panthers here, but I certainly feel like this game will be closer than people think.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think they're basically saying, like, this should be on paper a Rams blowout, but it's the playoffs, and the Panthers beat this team. You said we weren't going to talk about it. We won't talk about it much more than that. Like, the Panthers won this game already.
Yeah.
So it's to me, if you're betting aside here, it's the Panthers. But then you have to look in the mirror and go, like, okay, Bryce Young against Matthew Stafford. That's what I'm doing. So,
and I think Dave Canales is a good coach, but he's not. Really he's not Sean McVay yet.
No. Panthers getting Robert Hunt back, I think, is big.
Yeah.
Potentially another reason to bet the under, because the Panthers are going to the way the Panthers win is keep this close, get that running game back going, and just keep the ball out of Stafford's hands for as long as possible. I would think. Get some crazy turnovers, get a pick six.
I mean, they have in the first game. The Rams turned the ball over 3 times.
Yeah, and there was like a special teams touchdout or something, or like a long.
I think there was. Yeah, I think there was. No, pick 6.
Yeah, pick 6. Like, there's just like a weird.
Not gonna happen again.
Yeah, so it seems like this is a fair number. If it was like 9.5, I think I'd probably take the Rams, but I'm probably gonna lay off of this side in our picks, but. I think by game time, I'll end up probably squeezing on one side or the other. Not sure yet. Okay, moving on to the next game on Saturday. So that game is 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. The night game, 8-5, is Packers Bears.
Yeah.
This line has moved a bunch as we're recording today. It is Bears plus 1.5 at home. They are enjoying most of the bets and I think most of the money. Last I checked. What do you think here?
Most of my analysis of this playoff round is going to be fading teams. That's my goal this playoffs.
Yep.
I have waited for months to fade the Chicago Bears.
Yep.
And it is happening in this game.
Yep, I agree.
The Bears lead the NFL with 33 takeaways. All right. Most points allowed by a team to lead the NFL in takeaways. The Bears have allowed the fourth most points in NFL history, 24.4 to lead the NFL in takeaways. The three teams behind them, the three worst, and the next two worst, all missed the playoffs. The Bears are the 2 seed right now.
Yep.
One or fewer takeaways this season, they're 2-6. 2 or more, they're 9-0. That is just not a postseason formula for success. It's just absolutely not. So I'm fading the Bears defense's game. The DVOA, they're like 22nd. Like, they're not good defense. The problem is the Packers just aren't very good right now. Their defense right now, week 15 to 18. Now, again, last week they didn't play anybody, but when Micah Parsons got hurt, the last 4 weeks, they're allowing 28 points a game, nearly 400 yards in offense, and they have no sacks. And so this is a game where you got to stop the run, right? The Bears want to run the football. Their offensive line is good. They've improved rushing. Caleb Williams does not complete a ton of passes, which is a problem, but he's able to escape and make a lot of those big plays, right, down the field. And I mean, they were second in the NFL in big plays, run to 10 plus and passes of 20 plus. And that's a lot of that's just the passing game is Caleb Williams making plays when they're not there to be made. But I'm just fading the Bears. Like, Packers money line at minus 120 is something that I'm really eyeing here.
Yeah. It's fascinating that this opened at this number, then it flipped, and the Bears were favorites in the middle of the week. Now it's flipped back, and still on DraftKings, 70% of the bets placed are on the Bears to cover the spread. So it's a pretty interesting situation here. This is Vegas pretty clearly telling you what they think, or DraftKings in this case. Like, I think that those moments are pretty revealing, where you just if you just stare at this for long enough and you go, huh, so the Packers are favored on the road off of, basically a week where they didn't play anyone and a couple of just down weeks. I think they've lost 4 in a row, where they're going into this Bears team that seems to just not be able to lose home playoff game, and the Packers are still favored. That's just all really interesting. Something that's going to come up, I'm sure, as we do this. First time quarterbacks in the playoffs against playoff experienced quarterbacks. 20-39-1 against the spread. Obviously, Caleb's first playoff game, and Jordan Love has been here before. So it's going to take some stones to go against this Chicago team that has been really lucky this year. A team with, I think you mentioned their turnover differential. They led the league in both giveaways and takeaways. Like, what, that is completely unsustainable. It's whether the regression comes this week or down the road, it will come at some point. But that is an unbelievable stat. So Chicago, good for them. The other thing that's, I think, worth noting here is the Packers basically gave themselves a bye, right? Like, they didn't play anybody last week. They got a little healthier, and they've obviously dealt with just like a ton of injuries. The Bears haven't had the same affliction across the board, but the Bears had this like knockdown, drag out, emotional loss, and the Packers are coming in fresh with a coach who's been here before, a quarterback who's been here before. I think that is partially why they're favored in this game. So I think this one's going to be fun. I think this one's going to be weird. It's going to be cold. It's like 20 degrees. This is one of those, like, take the under in this. Like, it's still at 44.5. I think people are giving both teams a lot of credit, but like, this one to me feels like it might be one of those that just comes out kind of lopsided, one team or the other, where somebody just has one of those really weird games. Both these quarterbacks are capable of laying a total egg. But I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be a very interesting and revealing game.
It will be. It will be. And so I think everything you said is perfect on this game. Again, these are those games where like 50-50, right? If you told me one side was, 50-50 feels like this is like all these, like most of them are 50-50 to me. They're 50-50.
Yeah. This one's is super interesting. And, if you do end up taking Green Bay, it's like some of these home dogs, like we've now had 2 games, 2 home dogs. We're about to hit a third. Home dogs in the wild card weekend crush it historically. So somebody's going to end up being a surprise. I have a feeling we might agree on who it is. But I like
Oh,
it's
oh,
gonna happen
I
at
don't,
the same spot.
I actually don't know if I think I'm not playing the special this week. I don't think.
Yeah, interesting. Well,
Well,
this will be a
we'll
fun
see.
game. That'll be Saturday
I
night.
feel like the Mike Tomlin special ends when the postseason begins.
Yeah, we'll get there. We've still got all of Sunday to get to. Um, why don't we do Bills
Yes,
Jags?
let's do that one.
Bills favored on the road by one and a
Yeah,
half. What a game! This one's gonna be fun.
the Bills are not better than Jacksonville.
They are not.
I don't get this number at all. This might be my 5 point play of the week. I don't get it, Matt. Jacksonville, I know it's Jacksonville, so we don't want to maybe like give them the credit they deserve. Best point differential since week 11 by nearly 60 points is Jacksonville. Number one rushing defense in the NFL is Jacksonville. The thing that's made them better is Trevor Lawrence stopped turning the ball over. He stopped doing stuff where you're like, what are you doing, bro? What type of dumb play is this? And that is because I talk about this all the time, man. About week 12 with a new offensive coordinator is when you start seeing the up or down, right?
Yep.
You start seeing it. Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, up, right? Last year, even Jane Daniels and Kingsbury, up week 12, right? This year, by the way, down. Kevin Petula and Eagles, down week 12, right? Up, Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Upward trajectory. Buffalo cannot stop the run. And what is Jacksonville going to do in this game, Matt? They're going to run the football. They will commit to doing this. And I just think Jacksonville's a better football team. Rush attempts right now you could get for ETN if you would like 15 and a half. It's plus money, plus 103. Like that feels like a spot that I would want to be in. I don't think it's going to make my card this week, but just as a prop, like I think he'll run the ball a lot in this game. They don't run their backup as much as like the Rams do, right? So like the quorum idea is there, but I think Jacksonville's better, dude. I really, that's what it comes down to. Buffalo's run defense is not great. Now they can run the ball. Can Buffalo? Their pass defense is fine. It's good. Josh Allen doesn't have great wide receivers. You know, the thing about the Bills too, Matt, is we talk about them like Josh Allen's doing this by himself, not with one of the best offensive lines in the NFL and the best run game in the NFL. It's not like what Mahomes has done over the years. Josh Allen has support. He doesn't have the great wide receivers, but there is support with him. Most pressure of any team this weekend is the Buffalo Bills as well.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of reasons to like Jacksonville in this, and I think this line is the way it is because anybody who's submitting in their picks pool or putting a bet in or whatever is going to have that conversation with themselves where they're like, I'm fading Josh Allen against Trevor Lawrence, but I think this is Vegas sort of telling you something. Josh Allen just 5-8 against the spread in his playoff career. The other thing, there's so many reasons to, I think, like Jacksonville here, which may be a preview of where I'm going with one of my picks here. But the first is like it's 80 degrees in Jacksonville today, and it's going to be 60 some over by Sunday. Like this is just not an advantage for the Bills. Like they go down, they have trouble with Miami all the time. Like we've seen this before with these outdoor Northeastern teams going down to Florida at this time of year, just getting kind of surprised. Buffalo, just not as good of a team on the road this year. He's at Buffalo, 8 consecutive playoff losses on the road. And Jacksonville's been great at home. Like they're 7-2 at home this year, but one of those losses was a loss to the Rams in London. So I think they're actually 7-1 when you look at their home games, their true home games. So you mentioned the completeness of their team. Jacksonville hasn't allowed a 75-yard rusher all season. All season. They're the only team in the NFL that hasn't done that. And if you take James Cook away from this, from say he's the rushing champion, which, like, by the way, I don't feel like anyone's talking about the leading rusher in the NFL. Let's just say that he doesn't have like a huge game. What exactly then is this Bills offense besides Josh just like pulling a game out of his ass, which of course he's capable of, right? Probably the best quarterback in the league.
Like the rushing yards, again, like for Josh Allen, I don't want to be cliche about this, but I mean, it's at 38 and a half. I mean, like that's he's gonna have to do that in this game.
He's going to have to. And if you don't have the power running complement to whatever they're going to be able to do in the air against a really good defense, like I think kind of think Jacksonville's got this. So it's this is a tough matchup for Buffalo. I think if they would have loved to play New England. Obviously, like I think they would have loved to have played, obviously Pittsburgh, but I'm kind of feeling like the winner of this game is maybe going to be who represents the AFC in the Super Bowl. Like I think that these are the two hottest teams, and in Jacksonville's case, possibly the most complete, which is crazy to say. But if Lawrence can just win this game, then watch out. Like this team feels like it's a dangerous team to me.
I think Jacksonville's going to win the AFC.
Yeah, I can't believe we're saying that, man.
I do.
Like
I do.
It's what could go wrong with Trevor Lawrence and expectations, but yeah, I think this is a really nice spot to back an underdog, if you have the stomach for it. Um, okay, next game is Philadelphia San Francisco. Should be a fun one. Probably won't be. The Eagles are favored by 5.5 as we record this.
Yeah.
This has been creeping up all week. Total here. We didn't talk about the total in the last game. It's 51.5, the highest of the weekends. This one is 44.5. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, so this is strength versus strength and weakness versus weakness, right? It's the Niners defense, which is not good. Eagles offense was struggling most of the season. So what gives, right? I would lean toward Philly being better in that aspect, right? They took off last week. Lane Johnson's back healthy. And then it's Niners offense versus I don't think people realize how good the Eagles defense is. It's been incredible this season. And they get all their guys back and healthy. And so I do think the Eagles are the side here. I think if you were taking a side here, the Eagles win this game, 24-13, right? 21-13, 24-17. Like I just don't think the Niners are going to score. But the Niners, they played a real defense last week and lost, right? They played some bum defense that played really well, played real defense and lost. So that does concern me for the 49ers. Trent Williams doesn't play. That concerns me as well for the 49ers. But last week was the first real defense they played in like 2 months, and it didn't go very well for them. So I lean toward the Eagles here. There's a lot of money in the under in this one too, by the way. People are pounding the under in this one, even with a total of 44.5. So I would look toward Eagles in this one, Matt.
I would too. I think Purdy got a little banged up last week, and that really worries me that if he's going to have to go against, honestly, like a really similar team in Philadelphia, right? Like dominant defensive line, potentially a really run forward offense. I think that this game, a few things are probably going to happen in this one. First of all, Philly, it's going to be one of these knockdown, drag out Philly games.
Yep.
One of the things that I found so interesting, this year, they're 1-6 when passing for over 230 yards, and 10-0 when they throw for under 230 yards. So they're just gonna, like, Hurts is gonna scramble, right? Barkley's gonna get a lot of carries. There's gonna be some Bigsby and Shipley. Like, it's just gonna be one of those like slow, eat the clock, and Lane Johnson's gonna be back, right? So we think so. That means that they're gonna have some more stability on that offensive line. And then meanwhile, for San Francisco, like, against a team like the Bears or the Colts, where they can like move the ball up and down the field at will, like they're going to look awesome. But when they have to like march down the field methodically in the cold outside against like a really good defensive line, I just don't see it. So I think, Trent Williams practiced, I think today as we record this, or yesterday, which is huge news. The fact that he's going to be able to play looks, that's game changer for them. But like, as always, the story of San Francisco, they're banged up. They need their top guys to all make it through the whole game, but like, we're not sure how healthy Purdy and Trent Williams and Kittle, like all these guys, like, so I didn't have Philly as a side of my picks because the number's kind of high, but now I'm sort of thinking about maybe I need to.
I like McCaffrey over 6+ receptions, by the way, plus money. I think that's just like what he has to do.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need that. Okay, 2 games left, and then we can get to our 5. The Chargers are going to New England. The Patriots are 3.5-point favorites at home. This game is 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern on Sunday nights. I'm really interested in your take on this one.
I already hate myself for doing this.
Me too.
But Chargers plus 3.5
I know. God damn it.
is the absolute side for this game.
It's so the side, dude.
It's the side.
Yep.
So a couple things here. New England this year has the third easiest strength of schedule of all time.
All time.
All time.
Buffalo is like number 5, by the way.
They faced 3 teams with a winning record. They're 1-2 in those games.
Correct.
They score less points. They allow more points. They have more turnovers. The Patriots have as many wins versus teams with a winning record as the Raiders do.
Mm-hmm.
Raiders had the first pick in the draft.
Yeah, same with the Giants. Yep.
The Patriots defense, their best defensive linemen are interior guys, not edge guys, where the Chargers struggle with their tackles. The Chargers defense, guys, is number 1 in passer rating. Like, it's a really good defense. I think people don't realize that.
Yep.
This is it's just a fate of the Patriots. It's that simple. I don't have a great Chargers other than they're going to go in there and their 22 personnel just try to pound the Patriots into submission and Drake May is great against pressure. He's absolutely great. Nothing about Drake. He's fantastic, Matt. Number 1 in the NFL in all these categories against pressure. By the way, number 2 in the NFL in pressures. Herbert 1, he's 2. Like, the Patriot offensive line, also a problem for them. I like the 3.5, man. Like, this is like, I might do like a Chargers Eagles teaser. The Eagles teaser is not great, but just basically put them on the money line there. But I think the Chargers, I think they might win this game outright, but I like them, plus a 3.5.
Yeah, it's crazy this year that as underdogs, Herbert and the Chargers this year are 4-0 straight up. They're good in this spot. Like, this historically is where you want to take Herbert as an underdog of over a field goal. And this is, just underdogs in general in the playoffs, and certainly in the wild card rounds. The wild card round playoff underdogs, 64% against the spread. So, I mean, this is definitely one of those times where you want to just think about if you just go into this weekend and just take underdogs the whole time, you're probably going to end up doing pretty well, winning like 2 out of 3. We mentioned the stat about playoff quarterbacks in their first game, 20, 39, and 1 against the spread against experienced playoff quarterbacks. So that favors Justin Herbert. Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is like the Chargers again gave themselves a bye last week, and the Patriots, played this full game, and now they have all this expectation. They haven't faced a defense quite like this yet, and it just feels like this one's going to be close. You're getting more than a field goal. Justin Herbert historically awesome in that spot. He's I can't find it quickly, but yeah, I just think that this is a home run regression spot for kind of both teams, really. Like the Chargers, I think, are coming into this a little undervalued. Like, remember, they had like a bunch of really strange games to end the season, like that crazy Texans game that they lost with the missed extra point and missed field goal. Like, I just kind of think that they're a little bit of a better team than people think, and the Patriots are definitely a worse team than people think.
I'm with you there. Let's take our last break, Matt, and we'll hit the Monday night game. We'll do our 5 favorite wagers of the week.
Let's do it.
All right, buddy. Here we go. The Tomlin special.
That's right. Mike Tomlin is a home dog after sneaking into the playoffs somehow. I don't think any of us are very excited to watch Pittsburgh on Monday night in a standalone spot. It is now the Texans by 3. This is the 3.5 all week. Damn it. Yeah. So Steelers home dogs. What do you think?
I think the Steelers might lose this game by 10 to 14 points.
Possible.
How are they going to generate offense against Houston's defense? Even with DK Metcalf back, I don't see a path for them to score points in this game. And I think Houston's going to run the ball, play action pass, like just sort of the Steelers defense is not good. Like, it's not a good defense. They need like last week they won because Tyler Lute missed an easy field goal and TJ Watt had tipped interception. Just like the Steelers voodoo shit that happens all the time, Matt. So I think Houston's much better. I am not backing Pittsburgh in this game. Are you?
Dude, I'm staring at this, and this has been this was my 5-point pick to take Pittsburgh. Yeah, it was. But now I'm rethinking it a little bit. So if you're Pittsburgh and you're saying, okay, what's the kind of playoff game we want to have? You go, all right, we want to be home. We want to be against a dome team coming outside. We want to be against a team that can't run. And we want to be against a team that has a bad offensive line.
Yeah, fair.
Right? Like it's the best of it's the only team I think in this whole playoff field who I would say they would probably like to face. I the Texans have had just like a very strange couple of weeks. They had that weird Colts win last week with that goofy end of the game touchdown. They had that Chargers win with I mentioned like the missed kicks and like Gadsden hitting that ball hitting him in the face at the goal line. They beat the Raiders by 2. Like they beat the Cardinals. To me, their run is a little bit more of a mirage than Jacksonville's. And in general, like first of all, Pittsburgh. We've done the Mike Tomlin I didn't even write the stat down because we've said it so many times. But Mike Tomlin is over 500 as a straight up underdog at home in his career. Just like taking him as an underdog blindly, if you've done it every time, especially at home, has just been profitable by a lot. But like Stroud going outside in the playoffs at night at Pittsburgh with this crazy wind and this home crowd and Rodgers, like it feels like it's just all lining up. And this could look stupid. I think every year I take Pittsburgh as a home dog in the playoffs, and they always lose. As a matter of fact, they haven't won or covered a playoff game in 10 years almost. So it's not, maybe they're due, right? But this just feels to me like one of these, there's going to be a surprising home dog that wins. Obviously, I think we both think Jacksonville can be that, but this one I think would really surprise people because Pittsburgh just like isn't good. So I think it's kind of lining up for Tomlin and the Steelers.
Wow. I did not expect you to. Oh, 5-point play.
Potentially. I'm trying to find.
How about this prop? The Gainwell over receiving is juiced to 5.5, which I don't love. I think he'll catch the ball a lot. Aaron Rodgers over half a yard rushing, -108.
That's interesting.
Now he need about 5 to 6 to 7 to avoid kneels. But like with that pass rush, you got to think he's going to take off a couple times still. Playoff game, like we're going.
Yeah, you would think so. I'm trying to find this stat. I couldn't find it, but I'm gonna take this with a grain of salt. This is Gemini here. But the dome team going outside, I think 12 and this says 12 and 44 straight up against temperatures under 32 degrees.
That's true.
So I mean, this is just like it's such a bad spot for Houston. The other thing is like Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, and like God knows we don't love betting on Aaron Rodgers. But in general, like one of the trends is betting just Super Bowl quarterbacks as an underdog. 72% as an underdog against the spread. They're 26-8. That stat makes no sense. But since 2003, 72% against the spread as underdog in the playoffs. That only applies to Aaron Rodgers this week. So the trends all say, Pittsburgh, but your eyes say this team is terrible. Why would you bet on them? So it is very confusing. I think I'm going to knock them down a peg from 5.
Okay.
But I do think that I am going to have Pittsburgh on my list.
Wow.
Kill me.
I saw a meme that was pretty funny the other day. They had the loop about to kick his game-winning field goal attempt, and the field goal post, and it said in the middle it said Tomlin fired. Yeah, Harbaugh fired. Either side, Harbaugh fired. Tomlin fired in the middle. That's how close it was to maybe a regime change in Pittsburgh as well. All right, Matt, you ready to go through our 5 wagers we got?
Let's do it.
Okay, do you want to go our 5 point? Let's do a 5-pointer first.
Yep.
Okay. What do you have for your 5-pointer?
I'm going to chicken out, and I'm going to take Philly, San Francisco under. The number we are going to get is 44.5. I will take under 44.5. We mentioned the reasons for this. A limited Trent Williams means they're not going to have time back there for San Francisco to throw deep ones and do what they did against the Bears. We mentioned Hurts and the ball control.
Yeah.
Philly's successful game script is to run, 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 including Jalen Hurts running. He does way more of that in the playoffs, like Mahomes does.
It
Um,
does, yeah.
Outdoor unders, we mentioned the sort of trends there. Um, Outdoor wildcard unders for 75% against the spread. So give me the under for my 5-pointer here.
Okay. My 5-pointer, Jacksonville plus 1.5.
Love.
I think Jacksonville's going to win. I think the wrong team's favored in this game. I don't know why sportsbooks made this way. I think Jacksonville's a better football team. Maybe the inexperience of Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence in these situations, but man, McDermott loses these games all the time, and I do wonder if John Harbaugh's waiting to take interviews, which I said he is, to see what happens. If Buffalo loses this game, Sean McDermott might be out of a job.
That's so interesting.
It's very likely.
Wow.
So that's my 5-pointer. What's your 4-pointer?
Wow, that's an interesting Harbaugh potentially there. Give me Pittsburgh +3 for my 4-pointer. We just talked about this game, so I don't have to do it much.
Yeah.
But Stroud 16-7 at home, 12-11 on the road, 37 touchdowns, 11 interceptions at home, 25-14 on the road. He's almost 2.2 yards per attempt better at home than he is on the road, let alone especially with outdoors. So I just think this is just a good. I wish this was 3.5, but I'll still take it at 3.
Chargers plus 3.5. A 4-point play.
Yeah.
Ooh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Don't Chargers. Oh. All right, Matt, your 3-point play.
My 3-point play I had written down was actually Jacksonville. So we can repeat this, right? We're just going for the best totals. Yeah, I like Jacksonville plus 1.5 as well.
We can repeat it. We're just going for the points. Yeah.
Yeah. So the money line's not even. It's -108.
I know.
So
I'll take the point
better.
though. I thought because
I'll take the 1.5.
We're not playing with the
Allen.
juice. We're not playing with the juice.
The other thing to think about with this game with Jacksonville that we didn't talk about is the discrepancy in the kicking game, which if this game is going to be as close as Vegas says, like Cam Little's hitting 70-yard field goals.
Yes,
and
yes.
Your guy Matt Prater's been banged up. Like the Buffalo situation at kicking has just been a nightmare all season. So we love that advantage at home for Jacksonville. So give me Jacksonville plus 1.5.
I like that. I hadn't thought about that. He's so good, man. I mean, whatever would he get for? Let me see here. I'll keep talking as I want to find something right here. I will take my 3-point play. Blake Corum over 43.5 rushing yards. If I think the Rams are going to win this game, and I do, and I think the number is about right, I think Corum will have a lot of carries in this game, especially the weather is pretty poor, which it's forecast to be poor. I think that's a way to play this game. So give me Corum over 43.5 rushing yards.
Yeah, and if the game goes the way that Vegas says it's going to go, then Corum will be getting a lot of carries in a two-score fourth quarter.
Cam longest field goal made in the Bills-Jags game is 48.5. Minus 125 for the over.
Like a big time over there.
Yeah.
I had the Chargers plus 3.5 as my 2-point pick.
Okay.
I had it pretty low because as a Justin Herbert
it's
critic,
tough for you.
It's hard for me, but I'm also a Patriots critic, so it feels fine. I feel good about this one, and I do think this could be a 2-point win for either side. I love getting the extra value of the 0.5 point there. Give me Justin Herbert. What could go wrong?
Nothing at all. I will take Packers on the money line, minus 120 for my 2-point play. I hate it so much, but I think it's the right side.
Interesting. Yeah, my play was I was gonna lay the 1.5 with Green Bay. I feel fine about it. I think that Vegas is telling you and DraftKings is telling you to fade the luckiest team in the NFL and the Bears. The other thing with Green Bay, not only is Vegas telling you they're better, but Green Bay this year has been terrible as a public team. They're 0-6-1 as a public team against the spread and 6-3. Or I guess this is straight up because of the tie, but they're 6-3 when the public is not on their side. So all the money and bets are on the Bears. The Packers are still road favorites. It's flipped enough. That's enough for me. I love the inexperienced quarterback stat with Caleb Williams, 20-39-1 against the spread against quarterbacks with experience. Mentioned that a few times. Give me the Pack.
My last wager, Christian McCaffrey over six receiving, not six receiving yards, six receptions. So 6+ receptions at plus money here. I think he's got to catch the ball for Niners to have any offense in this game, especially with the pass rush of the Eagles. Get the ball out quickly, let him get in space. He's your best offensive weapon. This time of year to use him, man. Time of year to use him.
It
So,
sure is.
um,
Do you want to quickly talk about the coaching carousel? We didn't get to any of this. I don't know what you guys. I know you guys had Harbaugh live on the show on Tuesday, but anything you want to talk about with these open jobs?
I mean, the McDaniel one fascinates me because it happened so late in the process. Like, I don't know what was said, whether, we know sometimes that coaches, they have these exit meetings with the owners, and he might have been like, I want you to fire this coordinator and that coordinator. And he's like, I'm just not doing that. So we're not doing that, Matt. And that might have been the reason why he was gone. Maybe Harbaugh being available made Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner, want to get rid of Mike McDaniel now. There's no rush in the NFL, right? There's not like college football. There's no portal. There's no rush. Like you can take your time to figure out what you want to do. The thing about it is that there just doesn't seem to be a lot of great candidates. Like Matt Nagy's probably getting a job somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so Matt Nagy did something interesting, Matt. Laura Oakham used to work at Fox. She was a sideline reporter.
Yeah.
She is a company that I don't know what I know what they do. I don't know the name of it. I'm sorry. I should probably look it up to be fair to her. But they gather anonymous quotes from people you work with.
Right.
And they give you a presentation. So Matt Nagy gave Laura 40 names to talk to. She talks to these people. She compiles reports, and then Matt Nagy spent 5 hours over a Zoom listening to what these people who worked with Matt Nagy said about him to be a better coach. I like the self-reflection, Matt. I love it, okay? It's great. That doesn't mean he's going to be a great head coach the second time around, but I do appreciate his effort to try to be a better coach. I do think that the second time around, you should be better if you take the steps necessary to humble yourself, learn, and grow. He doesn't strike me as a great candidate anyways, though. You know what I mean? Like, that, he doesn't call the plays. The Chiefs offense, if you want to attribute any of it to him, the last 2 years has been atrocious. But it's just not a great pool of candidates this year, Matt. And so I think teams are going to hire bad coaches this cycle.
Yeah, there's a lot of openings. It's like over a quarter of the league is looking,
Yeah. And it doesn't include like McDermott, who might get fired this weekend.
Yep.
Matt LaFleur, I think, is safe, but like, who knows? What if Harbaugh gets canned? Not Harbaugh, Tomlin gets canned. I mean, it just.
Yeah, or just steps aside.
Yeah, like,
it's definitely possible.
There's a lot of openings potentially this year.
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly been, very excited about the possibility of Mike McDaniel being an OC and maybe rejoining his former boss Dan Quinn, and they have like a nice relationship.
I feel like the Lions is where he's going to end up.
He might. I mean, dude, imagine him in Kansas City. Imagine him in Philly. Like, there's so many places he could go.
My brother said for weeks that if Mike McDaniel ever got fired, he wants Kansas City to hire him. I don't know if the fit is there, but that would be an incredible pairing of his skill set with Andy Reid's skill set. It'd be quite an offense.
I mean, it'd be insane, and he's going to have his pick. So it'll be very interesting where he decides to go. Every team, I think, is drawing all their connections. Like, how about Baltimore, right? Like, he could be the head coach in Baltimore maybe if they decided to make that happen. I
feel like he's not going to be a head coach this cycle.
I feel like he might not want to. And
are we also hyping up John Harbaugh too much?
It's a great question. Go say more.
He's 64 years old.
Yeah.
People look at him like Andy Reid when he went to Kansas City. Andy Reid was in his late 50s, right? When he went to Kansas City. He had been to 5 conference championship games in Philly. They have not had playoff success in Baltimore recently. That's why he's gone. It is funny, though, that people are putting that a little bit on Lamar Jackson. People are very upset about that take. Like, hey, John Harbaugh used to win playoff games with Joe Flacco. Can't win them with Lamar. I don't know if that means anything, but just worth that people are throwing it out there. I don't know if he's a good coach anymore. It depends a lot on the success of a hire. Depends a lot on your coaches you bring with you, Matt. So if he brings the right OC and the right DC, yeah, it looks great. But look, Baltimore very clearly has struggled without Mike McDonald as their DC. And he has to find another Mike McDonald, another offensive coordinator to bring in. So that's the thing with John Harbaugh is if you're a CEO coach, you have to hit home runs at coordinator level, right? Because you're not coaching offense or defense. So Curious to see. He will find if he wants a job, he'll get one. Like in this cycle, but I need to know who he's bringing along with him to see if it's going to work or not.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like, the answer is no for now, but it, he at least would be like in the quarter or semi-finalists of the Hall of Fame. Like, if in 5 years, if he just never coached again, like this is potentially a Hall
Yes.
of Fame coach getting fired, and that's just remarkable. Like it's like he's in that Bill Cowher kind of territory of like one Super Bowl, a lot of winning seasons. It's just consistent, tons of division titles, couple of championship games, but he's weirdly just typified by these bad losses. And yeah, we'll see if it's him or Lamar. I don't think he's overrated, but I think in this coaching cycle where it's like, well, the clear second choice is Kevin Stefanski, like he is clearly the best hire.
Oh,
But you're right. It's got to be like if he could bring along. I think Munkin did a great job in Baltimore for the most part. Like minus maybe not giving it to Derrick Henry in the second half for the sole season. But like if you bring Munkin and then you bring like a good defensive coordinator with you, like that could be a pretty dynamic pairing for somebody. But yeah, I don't know if like him going to
yeah.
like the Giants or the Dolphins just automatically means like they're good again.
Can I, can I want to talk about Stefanski very quickly.
Yeah.
There are so many Browns fans. Take that back. Shadur Sanders fans. They're cheering very loudly. Stefanski got fired. I'm just here to tell you guys that the new coach is not going to want to coach Shadur Sanders.
No.
New coaches want their own guys. They cut fifth round picks all the time.
Yeah.
And to act like they're like, oh, see, this is this. No, it's not actually. It's not good for Shadur Sanders. The Shadur thing is wild, bro. I've sent you some of the tweets. It's like, holy guys, get in control of yourself.
Yeah.
He was like the worst rated quarterback in the NFL.
He's not good. And it's like that. I don't know who the Browns think they're going to be getting that's better than Stefanski, 2-time coach of the year. If Harbaugh wasn't around, I would feel like Stefanski would be such a giant. But we'll see. Can we talk about Kingsbury for a minute?
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah. So, can you just what did you think of him parting ways in Washington and what his next move is?
Okay, what I found interesting about what Dan Quinn did, and I actually crowdsurfed this. I farmed this on social media because I wanted people get their opinions on this and see where they're at. So he's not on the hot seat per se, but how many times does a coach fire both coordinators and survive doing that?
Yeah.
And there were some examples. Tom Coughlin did it before the 2007 season, fired both coordinators. Sirianni got rid of both coordinators 2 years ago.
That's right.
But it is rare to fire coordinators like this, both offense, defense, and come out on the top side of it. The Kingsbury one sounds like he might want another job, or maybe it just wasn't working. I was surprised. That made no sense to me because Daniels was hurt all season. How could you blame Kingsbury for that? But historically, Kingsbury has gotten worse the longer he's been at a place and the longer the season goes. Last year was the outlier. 2024 was the outlier for Kingsbury's career, where the offense got better throughout the season. Or if Dan Quinn just wants an offense doesn't revolve around Jay Daniels running the football as much.
Yeah. Seems like that's a big one. And it seems like, if you look at the Washington offense and you try to make that pitch to a McDaniel or whoever, and the thing you say to them is like, hey, look at this athletic group of offensive linemen who were getting gassed out by this ridiculous tempo thing that Kingsbury ran. Like Sam Cosmi said something interesting, the guard. He was like, maybe it would be good for us to have an offense where we weren't like constantly up tempo and we could dictate more as an offensive line. And it's like you got Tunsil and Connerly, who ended up being pretty good by the end of the season, and Cosmi. Like they should be a Shanahan offense. Like they should run the big zone blocking, like Tunsil as Trent Williams or Connerly, right? And just like have them just kicking ass out there. I think the reason that he ended up not working out there is I don't think Kingsbury like did enough to develop a lot of the young guys. And it's like Washington had these like good young players who just didn't play. So I think it's interesting that Kingsbury's so well regarded, but like no one's really stealing from him. Like no one really like adopted that up tempo thing that kind of took the league by storm last year, and that's telling. So I think I also think they knew about McDaniel because Quinn and McDaniel, um, McDaniel like did this like made this whole thing this year in the Madrid game when the two teams played. That Quinn helped him kind of dig out of his previous alcohol problem, and he's been sober since when he
No,
was on the staff in
I didn't know
Atlanta.
that.
And I think there's just like a good relationship there, and I wouldn't be shocked if. And
Ooh,
apparently he loves Jaden Daniels, but
well,
who
who
knows?
doesn't? Is there a mark? Is there a prediction marker for that? Can I find a prediction marker for that?
I didn't see it on DraftKings. I looked, but I do think that it's every team is talking themselves into McDaniel, but I do think there's a possibility that relationship works, and maybe that's why they just didn't want to, they wanted to just sort of move Kingsbury along.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Like you're right. For Quinn, this is a big risk, and the defensive coordinator Joe Witt was like his guy. Like Joe Witt, it'd be like Gabe and I being like, yeah, good luck, man. Like
Yeah.
they have the same system. So for Quinn, like if he hires a defensive coordinator who doesn't work out and the offensive coordinator does, that doesn't look great even in success. So very interesting move by Quinn. It wouldn't shock me if it would a little. Wouldn't shock me if like all of a sudden there's talk about Harbaugh in Washington. Like it wouldn't shock me. Like Quinn really kind of he's putting himself out there with these two fires, like you said. So very interesting time in Washington.
The prediction market stuff is insane. I did you see? I'm looking at one of them right now. Did you see that whole thing about the press secretary's briefing?
Yeah, it should be regulated like our friends at DraftKings are.
Yes.
Like it's very it's not great what
Very,
people are able to do.
Very clearly looked like she was in on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She ended immediately. For those who missed it, you can wager in prediction markets on everything in life, including how long will the press secretary have her press conference. And it was like 65 minutes, yes or no. And it was breezing along, and then like 64 minutes and 39 seconds, she just ends the press conference and walks off the stage. And if you voted no to not, to like it was going to end before, essentially, you made like 50 times your money. It's some insane. It was insane. It was crazy. That need to be regulated. Like DraftKings regulates it, and need to be in it, and have it that way. The prediction market for DraftKings. I can't wait to come to California soon and use the prediction market for DraftKings in California.
Super Bowl? Are you coming out?
Yes, I'm coming to San Francisco. I got my two.
Let's go.
I got my hotel across the street from the convention center.
Oh,
So,
nice. Okay, well, let's talk offline because I'm gonna figure out what I'm doing.
Yeah, there were still rooms there. It wasn't bad. So I'll come out there. All right, last thing here, Matt. You teased it. Trae Young traded from the Hawks
Yeah.
to your Wizards.
If
I
you
didn't know
made
the
it through
Wizards still.
Kingsbury talk.
I didn't know the Wizards still play basketball, but
Yeah.
they do. Why are they not the Bullets? You can go back to the Bullets. Come on.
Fine. I'm impartial now because
10
this
and
is
26.
it. I'm out.
You're out.
As soon as I'm out, dude. Like I'm not gonna spend too long on this. Granted, if you're here and made it through 10 minutes of offensive coordinator Washington talk, you're sticking around for this. I can't. What they did, it's like people are talking about it like this very savvy trade where it's like, look at that. They traded nothing and they got Trae Young.
There's a reason for that.
You got it's like great. You got a great deal on a 2014 Subaru Outback. Like, congratulations, dude. Like, who cares? You got a losing basketball player who's 5'10", can't play defense, and next year is going to be up for an extension. And guess what? He's going to score like 40 points a game next year because he's going to be up for an extension. Like, that's just how this is going to go, right? We've seen this times. I don't know. I mean, it looks like he's not going to play much. Like, they're going to say that his whatever quad injury is so devastating that he has to miss games so that the Wizards can keep their protection on their pick. But like, if he's good, it's dumb. If he's bad, it's dumb. If he's somewhere in the middle, it's dumb. Like, I don't see a world where this was a good move for them. And I think I'm just out, dude. I think I'm taking this to the court and I'm saying this is my grounds for divorce. I'm out. I live in LA. There's two basketball teams here. James Harden and Kawhi Leonard play for one. LeBron and Luka Doncic play for another.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm free.
It seems like Hank also resident Washington D.C. sports fan, is on the Lakers now. He's moved from the Wizards to Lakers.
No, he's claiming he's going to be a Spurs fan.
Spurs,
Like,
that what it was? Spurs with Wemby?
Yeah, because he went to Texas, but like
he's just so that's in San Antonio. What does that have to do?
His parents live in Austin. Like it's whatever.
But
I'm not speaking for Hank.
He should be a Mavericks fan then.
I'm not speaking for Hank. I'm speaking for me, and I'm saying I've had it. I'm out.
So Hank's just choosing the best young player in the NBA to ride behind. It's a bandwagon fan thing to do.
Somebody said I was talking about this with a friend who's a Lakers fan, and I was like, I think I'm doing it. I think I'm gonna be a Lakers fan. He's like, well, like get used to watching three guys who can't play defense like hog the ball. And I was like, buddy, the best guy I've seen play for my team in my life is Gilbert Arenas. You've LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Like, I'll be fine.
You saw Jordan play for them for a few years.
Yeah, and like it was a side. It was fun. It was cool. I went. Like it was cool. I went to see Michael Jordan play for my team. But like, I think they were like an 8 seed in the playoffs one year. Like didn't matter.
My favorite NBA thing right now is listening to Eric Collins call games for the highlights for the Charlotte Hornets, because the last two games.
Loves that.
Well, the last two games they lost on the last second of the game, both plays, and it's the best, dude. He's like, oh my God, no! It's like the shot goes in from quickly to win the game. Or last night, Siakam scored. I didn't realize the Pacers were 6-31 entering the game last night, but Siakam scored, and then they stole the inbounds pass. He's like, no, it's stolen, no! Like it's just so good. I should go take my kids to a Hornets game, but here's my thing, man. The ticket prices are out of control.
For the Hornets?
Yes. What would you pay for like a lower, like upper lower bowl ticket to watch the Hornets play? Like, I'll look it up right now. Let's see. Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte Hornets are hosting the Utah Jazz. No, that's in Utah. Okay. Why would you not give me home games? Here we go. Charlotte, Cleveland Cavaliers, January 21st, Wednesday, January 21st. I'm curious what they cost. Because I want to sit, my thing about when I go to games, Matt, is like, I want to sit in good seats. I've made enough money in life for like, I'm going to sit in good seats.
You're a professional athlete too. Yeah.
But like, here's a couple. So, okay, here we go. End of the court, right? So like not behind the basket, like the end of the bench. Okay. Last row up. In the lower section, Hornets, Cavs, before fees. What do you think it costs for one ticket?
Let me just say, you'd have to pay me to go to this.
$188.
Get out of here!
I swear to God, it's my point. It's ridiculous.
If you paid me $188, I still wouldn't go.
$180 for that, and I think these seats get like a little bit of like club access, which basically means you get better food. There's actually like no like,
which you also have to pay more for. Like,
correct. It's
not like you get a buffet of caviar.
I'm sending you a picture of the ticket I just selected. You can see the little green thing. Like, Matt, it's wild, bro. Like, this is why I don't go to games.
Yeah, it's why no one goes to games. It's also like there's no assurance that LaMelo Ball or Brandon Miller, like, are those your big draws? Like, there's no assurance they even play.
Knuppel.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I haven't seen him play yet, but
yeah, like that's why you go. Like it's wild how expensive the tickets are. That's why I don't go to games.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta be. There's cheaper Clippers tickets than that. Like, I looked into like when they play Denver, and like I'd like to go see like Jokic and Curry and all that stuff, and not pay the Lakers prices. But they're like similarly priced, and they are in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So that's pretty surprising.
Yeah. So that's why I don't
go. Have star players.
Nonetheless, we've done, I don't know, too long. Over an hour now.
This was probably, I'm going to say this might be our best podcast in like a few years. Like we really went in today, and we got some good coach stuff.
It's only 6 games. There's 6 games. It's much easier.
Really sink my teeth in.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk. Buddy. Let's talk Super Bowl offline.
We will do that, and we'll be back on Monday with Gabe to talk about the National Football League happenings and preview Monday Night Football. Might have to actually move that to Tuesday. Now that I'm thinking about this with the game on Monday. But we'll do that. We'll be back next week. Take care, guys. Enjoy the games tonight and this weekend, and we'll talk to you guys then. Take care, everybody.
See you, pal.